Hello, I am Toño and he is David, and we are Arabots from Arabo Robotics in Toluca, Mexico. And we will talk to you about the advances and milestones achieved since last year's competition with our project Baby Breeding. The project was born originally as a robotic project with the only purpose of participating in RoboFest 2020 in the RoboMed category. However, while doing the research and after having interviews with nurses, doctors, and hospital managers, we realized there was a big opportunity and that the project had the potential to really make a positive change in the oxygen treatment for newborns, especially for those in phase 1 and phase 2 of the oxygen therapy. So we decided to continue with the development, but in a more systematic approach. For the ones who have not heard about baby brings, here's a quick recap. Oxygen therapy is one of the most common treatments, especially for premature newborns. It basically consists in supplying oxygen to the baby in specific quantities during a certain time. However, this treatment is not always effective in phase 1 and phase 2, since the medical staff, based on their experience, manually adjust the amount of oxygen supplied to the baby, depending on his condition. The problem with this is that due to the excessive workload and limited resources, especially in the public sector, the frequency of monitoring is not always enough. As a consequence, the adjustment of oxygen quantity is not performed correctly and on time, exposing the baby to an incorrect quantity of oxygen during a long period of time.
This excessive and prolonged exposure to the oxygen leads to the development of auditive, cognitive, and even visual disorders, such as retinopathy, which is one of the main causes of child blindness in Mexico. So, based on this, we decided to take action and develop Baby Breathings, a device that self-regulates in real-time oxygen supply, ensuring that the baby receives the correct quantity during all the treatment, based on the measurement of 4 vital signs: oxygen saturation, heart rate, respiration rate, and temperature. In the following simulation, you can see a summarized treatment of a premature patient, which has an oxygen saturation below 80%, that is a critical condition. Immediately, the device opens completely the oxygen flow, waiting till the baby restores his condition, having a saturation above 90%. While the patient has a good oxygen saturation, the device will decrease the oxygen flow in little quantities. However, whether the baby desaturates, again, the device must increase the flow in the same quantity in order to restore the patient's condition. It is well known that premature's condition can change sharply. This means that they can return to critical condition quickly to an oxygen saturation below 80%. In this case, the device will open the oxygen flow to 100% in order to prevent the saturation from falling further. This behavior is expected during the whole treatment, with continuous monitoring and real-time response from our device. Our first prototype was only integrated by the oxygen saturation measurement model and the flowmeter control model, which was able to regulate the oxygen flow based on the patient's oxygen saturation. Now, let's talk about the progress since last year. For this year, we added respiration rate and temperature measurement models. So now, with the 4 models working together, all the acquisition model is finished. For the control model, we did not make any major changes. We only performed some fine-tuning in the program to improve the query and response. Finally, we implemented data recording and automatic reports generator functions, so doctors can have all the information of how the baby is responding to the treatment and make data-driven diagnosis. Besides those improvements in the prototype, we also started working with a more systematic approach. We implemented weekly meetings and teamwork with the team to keep track of the activities and milestones, and we started to learn system engineering methodology, better understand and analyze functional and legal requirements we have to fulfill.
Our next major milestone is to have all the documentation for the clinical protocol and submit it to the committee for review and approval, so we can start testing in hospitals. We know there are a lot of regulations that we have to meet, and we are also aware that having approval for new devices or treatment for pediatric patients is really difficult. However, we are positive since feedback from doctors have been positive. Well, that's all from our side. We look forward to seeing you at RoboFest 2021. You can check our website to more information. Thank you.